Neither GCN, nor Chris Horner, nor of course Lanterne Rouge, which is already part of the Rabobank team ecosystem, will bring you this news. Jonas Vingegaard, our beloved Danish anchovy, is being watched by the UCI, and this surprises even us. How can it be possible that a Dane is looking for exogenous methods in order to improve his performance? And how can it be possible that you haven't heard that we're raffling off a state-of-the-art Van Rijssel bike? If you subscribe to our new Celebs Highlights channel, comment on the videos, after watching them to the end, of course. Once the Tour de France is over, we will announce who has won this wonderful bike, the machine with which Felix Gall wants to destroy the great stars of world cycling. Subscribe now and follow the link in the pinned comment. And now let's go with this crazy story that you won't see anywhere else, only here, your favourite channel that educates and entertains you at the same time. A few days ago, Roger Legeay, the legendary doped cyclist and manager of doped cyclists, commented in an interview in the Swiss newspaper Le Temps that he was very worried. And it's not because Tramadolito Quintana, his target for the last 2 years, has returned to racing and is showing some form. His right-hand man in the movement for credible cycling, Eric Boyer, the legendary French pedalist who rode alongside the ever-clean Greg LeMond, had already expressed his fears about the return of doping at the highest level, something which we discussed in a video that you must watch to put the pieces of the puzzle together. But now, the doper Legeay has gone further and expressed what really worries him. It's another opioid, dear friends. Yes, and we're not talking about tramadol, but a drug up to 10 times more powerful than the one Tramadolito used for his back pain. This substance is actually not new. It has been marketed since the 80s, and in fact WADA had already announced in 2013, just after catching Lance Armstrong, about a great increase in its use in cycling and many other sports, and so they included it on a list of dangerous narcotics for competition. But it seems that the doped Legeay is already fed up. That's how he put it to his friend Selfie Lappartient's UCI at the Professional Cycling Council on May the 29th. And that's how he's made it known to WADA. He insists that it took 12 years to ban tramadol, and he's not going to wait that long for tapentadol to be banned. But why all this persecution of tapentadol? Easy. According to a study in the British Association of Sport and Exercise Medicine in 2023, tramadol could improve the performance of a cyclist in time trials by 1.3%. But of course, if tapentadol is, according to Legeay, 10 times more powerful, we could be talking about a substantial improvement in time trials, perhaps even up to 10.3%, which sounds really crazy. But you see, tapentadol works, it enhances performance by greatly reducing the pain in the cyclist's legs as they pedal, and so they can continue pedaling harder than ever. If we add to that the use of sodium bicarbonate that Eganito Bernal commented on in a recent interview in Colombia, saying that riders like Pogacar or Vingegaard are using, we have a strange new cocktail that might explain the Martian time trials of the last few years, and yet nowadays this cocktail would of course be totally legal, even though they're more drugged up than a lab rat. But why is tapentadol being connected to our beloved anchovy? Doper Legeay is not a fan of the Rabobank team, he never has been. He likes his dopers like Stuart O'Grady or Bobby Julich. He likes the Van Rijssel bikes of the Casino team, like the one, I repeat again, that we're raffling. He likes Tramadolito Quintana to be sanctioned for tramadol. But he doesn't like teams that use opiates, not at all. And we have irrefutable proof that at Rabobank they were taking such products. In December 2017, 3 riders were temporarily banned from the team for using potent pain-relieving drugs and mixing them with sleeping pills and alcohol during cultural soirees in Girona, the popular centre of doping for the world. These riders were Pascal Echon, who wandered the corridors disoriented and behaving rather strangely, Antoine Toluc, who confessed to taking still knocks in the purest Van den Broeke style, and Hatter Sheikh Juan Jose Lobato, who was found KO in his room and no one was able to slap him awake for several minutes. The Spaniard, who was supposedly the one who had provided the substances, never returned, but the other two riders were readmitted. However, the UCI had not forgotten about them and continued to keep an eye on them. Toluc was one of the very few World Tour riders that David Lappartient has sanctioned, after being caught in an out-of-competition doping control on November the 27th, 2023. Totally doped, brimming with steroids. And now you'll say to me, okay, all well and good, but what does this have to do with our beloved married anchovy? Beyond Jonas winning his first victory as a pro thanks to Toluc at the 2019 Tour of Poland. Well, now let's travel back in time, almost 30 years, specifically to 1996. The doped Rolf Sørensen, Danish by birth and doping with EPO since 1991, signed for Rabobank in 1996, and he began to transfer the wisdom that Dr. Luigi Cecchini, a resident of Lucca in Tuscany, where this commentator and oil salesman lives, had passed on to Rolf since his days at Ariostea. Together with the friend of the channel, Bjarne Riis, another faithful client of Dr. Cecchini, they began to shepherd different Danish cyclists, most of them intended for CSC, where the bald legend was the director. But some of them later found a place at Rabobank. Now, one of them was the chicken, Rasmussen, who confessed that Sørensen was the one who introduced him to cortisone doping. And then Dr. Leinders, the official Rabobank doctor, sent a letter to Dr. Mario Zozzoli of the UCI, and got a positive test result for cortisone from the 2003 Vuelta overruled. Thomas Dekker, his gregario and close friend of Dr. Cecchini, received bags full of EPO to crush the peloton in the mountains. And then, of course, he trained with Jakob Fuglsang, Michele Ferrari's popular client whom he was able to meet thanks to Danish contacts he'd known for over 30 years. And then there was another Dane. Always a Dane, they're everywhere. Johnny Veltz. He was the one in Girona, the same place where Toluc, Acorn and Lobato had their drug episode. And he supplied all the doping substances and practically all the drugs that Riis's riders needed. Something that was confirmed by the hipster Jonathan Vaughters when he had him on his payroll at Education First. Riis, Sørensen, Veltz and Rasmussen. All of them were doping. None of them were caught in doping controls. All of them had good contacts in the UCI, but you won't see any of them in pictures with Vingegaard. Still, there's no need. The UCI knows it because they know them well. Because these same dopers are in charge of publicly lecturing Jonas, as we have seen recently with the bald guy. Because they know that in the team, they already took painkillers in the past. And they know that the communication network exists between Danes, Girona, Lucca and Rabobank. It's more than proven. They won't dare to say that they're after Vingegaard because they don't want to go after him like they wanted to go after Toluc. Because Jonas generates money, lots of money, and he's one of the biggest stars in the sport. But they do want to take away one of the drugs with which they think he improved his performance at Combloux. And that brings us back to tapentadol. A legal drug that has been on the market for more than 40 years. A drug that destroyed a race. And so they want to make it illegal to equalize the competition. So that there are more naive, simplistic, stupid people who believe in professional sport. The sport where the one who finds the best novelty in the pharmacy always wins.